How's it going, YouTube? And welcome back to the Type QQ Gaming Channel. We are back with the Hurricane of the Varstray. And this is the video I actually had alluded to before. We were on Novice mode, and we actually went through level 12 on our last run, and came across the weird screen of, like, would you like to continue on a different dimension or something like that? And we chose yes, and actually died on the final level of stage 24. But now I'm checking out the experiment to see what happens when you press no, and see what happens, that sort of thing. Yeah, this has been a fun series. There's a lot to do, a lot to take in, but I think it's certainly more than doable if we're looking for like a novice 1cc. I think that's certainly it. I don't believe it's. We'll get to it when we get to it, but I don't particularly believe it's at stage 12, although it might officially be. I'm not sure. I guess the unofficial thing is that it's not as clear as I would have hoped it would have been. But yeah, what else is going on? We got some more dandy up. We're getting some more subs. That's always great. Getting some more new people. Some more interactiveness with the channel. A lot of thumbs up, some thumbs down. And this is the funny thing. You know, I've noticed everyone just make their opinions known, and like the stuff they like, leave comments or suggestions, all that sort of stuff. And and then all of a sudden I'm like, what's going on with the shooting star? I mean, the shooting star video is not a great video, not a particularly great game if you ask me. But it's getting like thumbs downs. I was like, Jesus, did I say something wrong? Am I really offending everyone? I mean, not that I don't necessarily, try to rib and troll the internet occasionally. Anyway, I had plain forgot that I told people to thumbs down the video, so they were only friggin' doing what I told them to. And yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I told everyone that I was personally going to thumbs down the video as well, or dislike the video rather. I was like, I plain forgot that was even part of the shtick that time. It doesn't really bother me, but it was a little confusing. I was like, I thought maybe at the very least, it's like, wow, I guess my instinct about this game is really off. Maybe a lot of people really do love this game. It's really just me and my own little island hating it, or just disliking it rather. But no, I think I made my own bed type of thing. Told everyone to thumbs down the video, and that's exactly what they did. Funny stuff. But also, when we're talking about channel news and stuff, I might be on a short sabbatical in the next coming days. So if I'm not uploading 10 videos a day, if there might be a couple days where I don't put up any videos, don't think I'm dead. Follow me on my Twitter. Shoot me some messages or some tweets my way if you're really that curious. But it's just family matters, that sort of thing. Exciting new adventures when it comes to the family. Nothing bad, nothing life-threatening or anything like that. Just changes, and it'll put me away from the computer for a few days. And besides, I think some time away from me playing these games would serve anyone good. I'd certainly check out the Gamebound channel. Do them a service if you haven't already. If you haven't actually come here from them, which is probably the highest possibility. But do check them out, as well as, if you don't already, download Steam and check out all the summer sale games that's available. I would be hard pressed that you couldn't find a few games to occupy your summer for a couple bucks. It's pretty wild stuff. Crimson Clover. Have I talked about this already? Crimson Clover, one of probably the best shoot 'em ups that you can get on Steam for newbies or pros. $2. Like Jim, if you're hearing this, go get Crimson Clover. That game is amazing. It is so much fun. It's a gorgeous game. Great music, fast, insane graphics. I would say something like it's sort of like this. However, I would say it's a bit more simple, and it's a little bit more glossy, and high res, that sort of thing. Not to say this is a bad game, but I would say one game might be like a 9 and one might be a 7, that sort of thing. I like both of them, but I do think Crimson Clover, if you're talking about kings of the yard, it quite possibly be on Steam, that's for sure, and for $2. In what other scenario, like if you're going to like a car lot to buy a new car, and you're like, I want your best car, and they're like, oh sure, yeah, it's the cheapest one here. Although $1.99 isn't the cheapest game, it's certainly in that area of like virtually free. So, stage 4, we were able to talk about nonsense for a while, at least chew up 4 levels of action here. And I would say, at least with my, new games that I purchased during the Steam sale, this game has certainly been the champion of that. I picked up a few games with Dandy kind of winning a little favor in me. I think, my first impressions weren't so great. I don't think it, I really think, some better controls, maybe a horizontal movement option would have been useful. But I do like my roguelikes occasionally. It's pretty fun finding out which little candy does what. That's a good touch. I like that. Stage 4 boss, and it looks like we're still using this sort of bomb right before the boss meta. That is just absolutely awful, and we'll be lucky not to lose lives during. Well, I guess we weren't punished then again, but still, that's just just bad manners. Stage 5. Vector Strain was another game that I picked up just recently as well. Dandy, Shooting Star, Vector Strain. And I think Vector Strain being the best one of the 3, I think by some margin as well. I just think it's more of a complete game, despite the fact that it doesn't necessarily have the roguelike sensibilities like Dandy has. But I would say, for a short game, I believe it only has like 5 levels. It certainly adds a lot of challenge, and Reminds me a lot of like Eschatos, and not in the sort of short levels. Caravan can't miss any guys, but it does have a short shield and a bomb, that sort of thing, and a low life stock. Getting kind of beat up here. At least we didn't enter the boss with absolutely nothing in our gauges, so at least we, despite the fact that it looks like we got knocked against the jaw a few times beforehand, it looks like it wasn't an absolute catastrophe. And also, a lot of these bosses just get melted so quick. Stage 6, halfway there. And we are at, it appears, 6 lives right now. I would be hard pressed, that this game could kill us 6 times before we get to stage 12. Of course, I know the result of that, but I mean that's I think just kind of cool in a sort of novice sort of way. If you're just starting out looking for a game, I think something like this would be pretty suitable. As frantic as it is, pretty forgiving. Like I was saying, I would really have to try to lose those 6 lives. They're almost essentially 12 lives because, as you're shooting things, you're filling up your gauge, and then, if you have a full gauge and get hit, it will remove your gauge, and then you have to get hit again before you refill it. So, you really have to just get your ass pummeled and refuse to kill anything to really lose in this mode. At least up to the 12 levels as well. My God. My God! Alright, I'm looking at the time stamp or the time left in this video, and I'm wondering if I have enough time to bring up this topic. Has anyone else been going into or have been looking into the Star Mazer DSP drama or legality and stuff now? It's gone absolutely nuclear. I guess the fast forward of it all is that a sort of chiptune composer was contracted to make the soundtrack for the game Star Mazer for a gaming company, and apparently that person was compensated for it. However, in the contract it did say that the work provided for Star Mazer could also be used in following projects. So here's the following project with Star Mazer DSP. However, the composer feels obliged to be compensated for it, or feel that they control the copyright rights of the music, and then despite disputing this with the game company that's producing Star Mazer, the person has gone on to do all kinds of takedown strikes on YouTube videos and channels that are showcasing the game that obviously has that soundtrack in it, under the sort of rule that the YouTuber doesn't necessarily have a proper license to play her music in the game. So it's sort of like a sort of secondhand crime, I guess would be best described. If you went to the DMV, took a picture, gave them some money, and yet they still gave you a an invalid driver's license, and you were pulled over for a broken headlight and you got arrested for a fake ID. I went to the place, I bought the, I went through the right hoops, I talked to the right people, I paid them, and how would I ever assume that this would be fraudulent? So it's kind of one of those secondhand crimes that this person is really sort of banking on. Well, like, I forget what it was, like 70 videos taken down, a few suspended accounts on YouTube and Twitter, just some real nasty stuff, it's going to court with the game company versus the composer. Just got announced that the composer is being sued, because the game was taken off Steam, that sort of thing, and I think maybe just to secure their copyright with their title as well. So, and on top of that, if this continues and a YouTuber sues for these sort of false DMC takedowns, it would certainly it would be a precedent, I think, that we're everyone in the sort of Let's Play community, sort of YouTube world, we kind of want that sort of precedent, that sort of fair use type of argument. I think, there's been countless times where, YouTubers and other content creators have had to defend their work, not necessarily in court, but it would be great to see some of that in reverse, where we start to bring some light upon the sort of abuse and weaponized, YouTube takedown strike sort of thing. All those, how easy it is for somebody to just go in and just really, table flip a few different channels for no particular reason. And I think, bringing someone to court for such such takedowns, I think would serve a good precedent for it all. And I failed to mention before, but Star Mazer DSP is a shoot 'em up. So the channels affected are kind of my sort of channels from another mother sort of thing. The same sort of shmup community that is so helpful and knowledgeable for newbies and intermediaries, or rather advanced players and pros all alike. I'm like I said in previous videos, I'm kind of lucky I never covered it, just because I have such a small channel. I don't think YouTube or too many people would really come to my defense. I would only have 20-something subs, and this person would come in and knock it over, and who cares? It's only a handful of videos for a handful of people. So I do feel kind of fortunate to kind of have missed that bullet, but I do feel bad, and I hope everything goes well for the people who are affected for it. And to a point, I do feel bad for the composer as well, despite the fact that, the actions they did to kind of write, to do right in their mind was completely off base. I think if anytime you feel that there's a crime that's being done to you, you know, lawyer up, take them to court and settle it there, not necessarily, you know, don't bring any more people into it that you need to. It's the whole sort of DMCA takedown of other YouTube channels and telling them to send their complaints to the developer and all that other stuff. That stuff is just fucking insane shit. That's just, you're just absolutely removing the sort of moral high ground from yourself. If you had any sort of leg to stand on, you're just shooting yourself right in the foot. It's the mentality of, like, if you come home from work or from the grocery store to find out, your house was broken into and someone stole your stuff, you don't go to your neighbors and take their stuff because your stuff was stolen and say, well, I don't have a TV, so you can have a TV. It's like, no, you don't do that shit. You get sometimes you have to look beyond your little world and feel that we're all in this together. But if you have an issue, deal with it in a personal manner, and take care of yourself, and don't spread poison to other people. Stage 10, we're just about there. So I think we pretty much cover that topic ad nauseum. There's all kinds of other videos about it too. If you can just search Star Mazer DSP, you'll find all of that. In fact, there's even a GoFundMe for the legal team taking on the case in Star Mazer's defense. So I would certainly suggest, if you would like to, support that, or to do something. I think that's the best way. There have been reports of like hate mail and stuff like that, and shit posting and trolling, and I think I think a majority opinion would say that's really not helpful at all. And I think, if you actually want to do something productive, give $1 to the cause. But you know what? I think once this is all settled and done with, and whether Star Mazer has a new soundtrack on their game, or the courts settle whatever copyright issues there happens to be, I think we're gonna I think we're absolutely gonna see Star Mazer DSP on this channel. I think it, and just yeah. I'm not sure. I think just a sort of actor's defiance, I suppose, is in hand. Is at hand. I just, it's a game that we should be covering anyway. I think at one point or another, but also yeah. Look at the lives we have. How many lives? We have, like 9 lives. I love that part of the level where it's just a sort of avalanche of Space Invader like characters. But here we are, stage 12, final level. I would say, at least of this run. Oh, finally killed. It's going to take a lot more, however. All right. I didn't really mean it, you know. But some of those areas do get pretty hairy. You know, they do send out a lot of bullets, and if you're in the wrong area, you've gotten yourself in some trouble. Suck my Baryon. A little bizarre for when it comes to achievement stuff. And here we are, final boss time. Some nasty lasers. I spoke in other videos how I'm pretty poor at adapting to fast patterns, but it looks like we kind of made it out of that alive. And there's this first phase, and transforming into a second one, this sort of Death Star-like thing, or rather like a Death Satellite. It is kind of a cool image, this sort of evil eyeball-like thing, shattered and broken in front of this red full moon. I got killed there, but I think it's really far too little, far too late when it comes to this boss. I have just too many lives. Yeah, there we go, right there. Welcome to Special Dimension. Yes or no? No. Game over. That's all today, you chicken face. I don't get that, but oh well. Alright, till next time, guys.